than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
You're on the neutral ground. Corey Johnson.
I bet his smells like sandalwood.
Corey Johnson.
He's absolutely magnificent.
Got to keep this up till 6? Wow. You heard the man. Get to Gallagher's 527 this week. Lunch through Friday, dinner through Saturday night. It's that good. You won't be disappointed. If you love to eat and you've never been to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville, you're literally missing out on one of the finest dining experiences in Metro New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. 97 degrees right now. 112 degrees feels like temperature. 112 feels like 97 as the real temperature is brutal. Stay hydrated. Stay inside. Stay inside the air conditioning if you can. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. The Times-Picayune has an article about the number one state where folks are moving to. Obviously, it's Texas. Metro New Orleans has lost 27,000 people in the last 5 years, since 2020. 40,000 on the South Shore, but a gain of 13,000 on the North Shore. So 40,000 people leaving the South Shore. That's 4% of the South Shore's population. That's one out of every, 4%? One out of 25. One out of every 25 New Orleanians on the South Shore. Orleans, Jefferson, St. Bernard, and the river parishes. 1 out of 25 has left in the last 5 years. That's mind-blowing. 13,000 have moved to the North Shore. They've gained 13,000. St. Tammany Parish has nearly 280,000 people in St. Tammany now. No, it's bustling. It's booming. That's why I always talk about an IG is so needed for St. Tammany. So many public projects, so much public money being spent. You want that scrutinized. Anyway, a big bummer. 4% population loss for Metro New Orleans. We lead the country in population loss the last 5 years. And essentially on the South Shore, 1 out of 25 of us has left in the last 5 years. No bueno. No bueno. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. We had Dan Reel on in the 4 o'clock hour every Tuesday. The Real Deal with Dan Reel. Lots of topics. We went through them all. Junket Cantrell's trip to New York when there was no convention. That was unbelievable. And then, of course, has to make it a race thing, connects it to this African-American Mayors Association. The problem is the African-American Mayors Association did not have any kind of convention meeting, nothing in New York last week when the mayor went there. So usually she's going, every time she's going on a junket, but usually there's at least some BS convention going on, like a mayor's convention, which you have those in America. There's tens of thousands of mayors in cities and towns. You have a mayor's convention every week in America. So she could literally go to one every week. We know that's nonsense. We know it's a junket. We know no jobs are being created. No money's coming into the city. But the mayor was so hell-bent on wanting to go to New York last week for some reason. I have no idea. And hell-bent on the city paying for it, that she made up a convention, a meeting, when there was none. And then worse, connects it with African-American. Like if, someone questions it, boy, you're going after black now or something like that. Who knows how her mind works? But there was no meeting. I went on the African-American Mayors Association website. No meeting, no convention, no nothing in New York. So now the mayor is just making up conventions and meetings and things she's going to strictly so she can go. No, I guess I'd say a new all-time low, but, she'll exceed that. It's just a matter of time. Anyway, Junket Cantrell's trip to New York City when there was no convention. That's a new one. We discussed the airport expansion. The 1 point something billion terminal has 3 concourses. They're going to add a 4th, which it was designed to have that 4th added. And that's going to be 15 more gates, bringing the total up to 50. And they're talking about, after that, building a second brand new terminal a little bit west of the existing terminal. There's a huge tarmac, big old concrete slab where planes are parked, no buildings there. You could literally put that second terminal right there with a couple of more concourses. So 50 gates and 4 concourses in the next 5 years or so. And maybe in the next decade, a second terminal and a couple of more concourses and more gates. So we could see 2 terminals, 6 concourses, and maybe 70, 80 gates eventually. That's good. Good news. Derek Groves still at large since May. The summer of 2025 is the summer of Derek Groves. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not trying to be right about this and want it to be right or anything. I'm just telling you an observation I made. Take it for whatever it's worth. And I put it on Twitter and said, attention, law enforcement. And I'm sure they're already aware of this. Fox 8 had all 10 of the escapees' photos up. And over 9 of the 10, they had, captured, across it. Derek Groves is the only one, just a clean photo. I'm looking at all the other photos, and you can clearly see everybody's face. All these guys are clearly men. They're clearly masculine, no doubt about it. Derek Groves is a man, but has some effeminate features. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm looking at him like, pull back your hair, put on some mascara, put on a bonnet and a dress, and you could get away being a woman. I'm looking at Mario Brothers. There's nothing feminine about him. He's looking at me going, nothing feminine about you, Corey. Could we dress up as a woman? Could someone make us look like a woman? Yeah, we'd be some ugly women. We'd be some masculine-looking women. I'm not saying Derek Groves is a good-looking woman or a good-looking man. I'm just telling you, when I looked at Derek Groves, I was like, boy, he's got some soft, effeminate features. This guy puts on a dress and a bonnet and some makeup. He could get away with being a woman. And in 2025, with the transgender thing all out in the open, he could get away with this. So am I going to sit here and go, I'm telling you, Derek Groves is dressed as a woman? No, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. I wouldn't be shocked if Derek Groves is dressed as a woman, and that is prolonging finding him. Remember, you heard it here first. You know what's good about this, Mario Brothers? They find the guy. There's nothing woman about him. No one's remembering I said this.
Unless they...
But if he's a woman, everybody's like, Corey's a genius.
Yep. First person I'll think of.
Yep.
I can see it. I mean, there's some, like, no offense, there's some women that have masculine features.
No, exactly. This dude just got like a soft look to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he pulls back the hair, puts on some makeup, a bonnet and a dress.
Mm-hmm.
It's Miss Derek Groves.
Probably looks like his mom. You could probably go
exactly.
off pictures of his
exactly.
mom.
Bet you looks like the mom. Exactly. Anyway, Derek Groves has some effeminate features. So law enforcement maybe consider he's dressed as a woman. He's been gone since May. I would think Mario Brothers. I mean, I'm guessing he's in another city by now.
Gotta be.
I mean, I don't know.
Another state.
I don't know. It might just be in Pigeon Town hanging out. Who knows?
Who knows? On a bench.
766-9480, not on a bench. 766-9480. Thanks so much for joining us. National headlines, Washington Post. Louisiana, big mistake to abandon the Mid-Barataria diversion project. It is a big mistake. Dan Reel said it best. It's politics. It's politics. It's Jeff Landry. It's literally like 50 men, and probably all of them are white men. Just that matters. I'm just telling you, 50 white men are responsible for this. A few dozen oyster fishermen, a few dozen fishermen, a few dozen politicos, and a few dozen power brokers in Plaquemine. That's it. And they got Jeff Landry to abandon a $3 billion project where the state of Louisiana is already north of $600 million into the project. I had Garrett Graves on the program. He used to run Coastal, for the state under Bobby Jindal. And I said, Derek, I would imagine some of these engineering firms, some of these construction firms that have invested in equipment, invested in people, have a signed contract for the $3 billion project that moved to New Orleans, have offices in New Orleans. They're going to sue the state for this. He's like, it's already happening. So the 600 million, the state's going to have to come up with that. You listen to the state coastal guy, Gordon Dove. He's like, well, the Mid-Barataria is now just becoming the Myrtle Grove project. It doesn't work that way. You can rename it the Myrtle Grove and it start all over again. Every single thing. It's a smaller project. It's less. You've got to go get Army Corps approval. You got to go through all the bureaucracy, the red tape. They may not restart construction at the Mid-Barataria diversion project, which will become the Myrtle Grove diversion. They may not restart that for years. For years. No, this is, by definition, the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. This is Louisiana politics at its absolute worst. No, Lee Zurich or, Travers Mackle, David Hammer, someone needs to do an investigative report on this, because this is literally a few dozen oystermen, a few dozen fishermen, some power brokers in Plaquemine, like 50 people nixing a $3 billion fully paid for project that we're already 600 million plus into it. No, just Louisiana politics at its absolute friggin' worst. That's what this is. And everyone loses. Plaquemine Parish folks are just that much more vulnerable to getting flooded out. Same with New Orleans, the metro area, the population center. It only hurts us. The only folks that benefit, a few dopey, selfish oystermen in St. Bernard, in Plaquemine, and some fishermen. And I would say the majority of oystermen and fishermen in Plaquemine are probably for the diversion if you asked them. It's just a small percentage. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8% of these oyster fishermen down there. The majority of them are hardworking, good people. No, it's these squeaky wheels. No, sad. Washington Post, nationwide article, like Louisiana's screwing up. It's hard for the feds to take us seriously when we whine and complain about coastal erosion and we do things like this. And they don't really listen to us much at all. So, sad situation.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters.
And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it.
Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you, 5 o'clock power hour on a Tuesday afternoon. Well, we had a good one in the 4 o'clock hour. Dan Reel. Every Tuesday, Dan Reel joins us, the real deal. A slew of topics, about a dozen topics. We go over a bunch of them. I was just going through the list that we hit last hour, like the Elysian Hotel struggling to get permitted on Elysian Fields by the river. This crusty part of Elysian Fields is a big open lot. Perfect spot for this hotel. It was originally proposed as a 7-story hotel. I would have green lighted that. Now it's 5 stories. They've downsided, and the neighbors are still complaining. There are certain people in New Orleans that don't want any change, especially when it's in or around their neighborhood. They don't want any change, and they will fight to keep their neighborhood like it is. I've mentioned the Havana Outpost too many times, the little Cuban restaurant on the corner of Rampart and Esplanade in that old, which once was an abandoned gas station for like 40 years. And it was just this group on the same block behind them on Esplanade. One guy's last name's Franson. I forget the other guy's names. Some lawyers, some family money. No, it's just sinful. They prefer the blight. They don't want to see change in their neighborhood, even though they live on Esplanade and Rampart in the friggin' French Quarter. So they're fighting this change, vehemently fighting this change. For 40 years, that property stood blighted. I'd like to know how many people over the 40 years came and went. Sean Meehan, the guy that got this thing built, the Havana Outpost owner, first off, he's a Golden Gloves champion, like physically, like he's a champion. He's an original investor in Etsy, so he's got money. He's worth tens of millions of dollars, if not more. He's got wherewithal. Coupled with, he fell in love with New Orleans, bought a house on Esplanade, and his kid goes to school here. So he was in it for the long term, and it took him a decade. He bought the property in like 2012, and Havana Outpost opened in 2022. It took him 10 years of the city council being inept, these losers on Esplanade fighting him tooth and nail with money, family money, and law degrees, and just fighting him every way they could, paying off politicians, slowing down the process. No, the 40 years before that, how many investors came forward that were just regular investors that didn't have Etsy investment money, that weren't Golden Glove champions, that, man, I'm gonna win this thing. That's my mentality. I'm a champion. How many after 3 months, 6 months, a year said, I'm leaving New Orleans. I'm abandoning this project. I've invested money, and these neighbors don't want me to do it, and they've got power, and they're in the power is being used to stop me. I guarantee it had to be a dozen people, maybe over 40 years. Boy, look at that abandoned gas station. I'm going to get the lease on it, or I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy the house behind. I'm going to put a business there, a restaurant, outside cafe. These folks ran them off. So I don't know the numbers. It ain't 1 or 2. It's got to be a bunch. But finally, they met their match. And what I love, not only is the place open and it fits in great, in the window, they've got the sign, No Havana Outpost, with the red circle and the line through it that the neighbors had put up for years on their front porches, on their wrought iron fences, in their windows. No, this mentality, don't build the, Whole Foods on Magazine in the old bus barn. Don't build the Walmart at the riverbed on Chapatoulas. You'll wreck Magazine Street. Don't build the golf course at Audubon. All these people, man, just anti things, and then they end up going to the things that they were against. These idiots, these selfish, closed-minded folks in the Marigny Triangle, the Bywater, that are against this hotel. It's mostly the Marigny Triangle and the Marigny that are against this Elysian Hotel. They'll be the first folks having their friends visiting from out of towns check into that hotel. They'll be dining at the hotel's restaurant. They'll be swimming in the hotel's pool. And they were the ones against it. Now, these same uptown folks that were against the golf course being redone at Audubon and a clubhouse with a restaurant, they're eating at the restaurant. Same folks that were against the Whole Food, they shop at the Whole Food. No, it's ridiculous. First, a bunch of people that are selfish and wrong, and then hypocrites. I mean, just the worst of people. These are some of the worst New Orleanians. And they'll sit there and tell you, like, we're natives, we're fifth generation, we represent New Orleans, we're best interest of the city. No, best interest for themselves. Some of the worst, most selfish people around. And no, this Elysian Hotel, it would only benefit Elysian would not let their daughter, their wife, their mother, their grandmother stand on that corner where the hotel's proposed at 9 at night and wait 15 minutes for someone to come pick them up. Wouldn't want them out there alone for 5 seconds, much less 15 minutes, yet they're against the hotel. No, it's a major problem in New Orleans. We're not pro-business. We're anti-business. We don't invite you in. We don't embrace you. We push you away and run you off. And then the worst part, we want a piece of it. We want a piece of it. I've been working on a project in New Orleans. I'm not kidding you. A project that I've got more money invested in than I can afford, basically. It strapped me. I've got probably $30,000, $40,000 invested in this project, which is a lot of money for me, for about the last 2.5 years. The city of New Orleans has a major part in it. Like, they need to give me the thumbs up, the okay. And it has been extremely painful. It is extremely painful. No, they're not pro-business. They're anti-business. I've been trying for 2.5 years. I'll fill you in on all of it. It's coming to a head like soon. This thing's either going to happen, and I'll tell you about it and say how much of a pain in the ass it was to deal with the city to get this to happen, or I'll tell you it's not going to happen because the city doesn't want it to happen. But no, it's been tough. It's been a battle. I've got a lot of money invested, a lot of time. It's stressing me out. And anywhere else in America, it would already be done. It would have been done over 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. Sorry for lack of details. I know you're like curious what it is, what's Corey talking about. One day I'll fill you in, but I can't right now because I don't want to sabotage this, too much money, too much time invested in this. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring. I'll tell you what, you live in New Orleans, there's a lot worse places to work than Latrim. This might be as good as it gets as far as a job or a career for a place for you to work. Latrim. If New Orleans had a dozen Latrims, we wouldn't have any financial problems. They've got over 1,400 employees in Elmwood. They've got a couple of hundred at their I-12 facility on the North Shore, and they're hiring. What an incredible place. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim.com. No, Blue Boy. You can't work at Latrim, buddy. I'm sorry. I know I said they've got dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings, just not for a basset hound. Your sense of smell is almost wolf-like, stronger than most dogs, and you could help with something like that. That's interesting. Sense of smell. I'll talk to the Latrim folks for you, buddy. See you tomorrow, New Orleans, 4 o'clock.
On the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.